Hello everyone. I want to welcome you guys to learning how to use Git with Git Bash on Windows. Alright, so I know you guys have been awaiting this because after the release of the first, which I did related to Ubuntu. Alright, so we'll just be going straight to the point. Alright, um, to get started with using Git Bash on Windows, the first thing you need to know is that you need to first of all create an account with GitHub. So to create an account with GitHub, I want you to visit this link and then just follow up the process there. And then once you visit this link, you should have an interface that looks like this. So you're gonna see the username, you're gonna see the email, you're gonna see the password. So you enter your username, enter your email, and enter your password. And if everything here is fine, you can click on sign up. Alright, and that will take you up to an interface that really proves that yes, you've created your GitHub account. Alright, so the next thing is you want to download Git Bash. Download Git Bash. Alright, so you need to visit this link. Visit this link, and then once you visit this link, you should have an interface that looks like this. Then you can click on Windows so that you can download Git Bash for Windows. Alright, and once you download it, it's very easy to install. The first thing is once you click on this, it's going to tell you is it 64 or 32 bit. So you click on 64 if your PC is 64 bit. If your PC is 32 bit, you click on 32 bit. All right. So the next thing is you need to create your first repository. All right. To create your first repository, you need to you shouldn't have an interface that looks like this. Looks like this. So once you open your GitHub, you should have uh, more or less like um, a picture over here a picture of yourself over here with your username, and then your profile over here. You're gonna see a list of repositories around here, and then below it you're gonna see some things called your contributions, that is daily contributions based on days. All right, so what I just want you to do is just go ahead and then click on towards the top right hand corner. Just go ahead and click on the plus sign. So you're going to see a plus sign, like an addition sign. Click on that, and then you're going to see something called new repository, import repository, new gist, new organization, new project. So just click on new repository and you should have this interface. All right, are we cool? All right, so the next thing you want to do is you would the next thing is to create a repository, and that's to first of all give it a repository name. All right, so before I go ahead, let me quickly explain what a repository is. A repository is basically a container where you can where you can house your project, such that you can now give other people access to contributing, or give other people access to collaborate with you on that same repository. So that is what a repository is. Just know it as as a container, as a basic container where you can have your programming um, you can have all your programming works pushed to for others to see. All right. So the next, let's go straight to creating our first repository. So I'm going to create a repository called um, language language. All right. So you can give it your own repository name. So I'm just going to call my own language. Then you can go ahead and then give it some description. I'm going to say, okay, this is all about English English language. All right, that is my own description to that. You can give yours your own description. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is these two radio buttons. We have the public, we have the private. By default, the public is always checked. All right, so what does this public mean? It means that the repository you're about to create is a repository that anyone can see or have access to. But the thing is, it's a repository that anyone can see. Anyone that visits your page can have access to it. All right. So you can also choose who to commit to that repository, even if it's a public repository, since people can see it. If they want to if they want to contribute to that repository, they need your permission, and you are the one to give them permission to do that. So the same thing goes to private. So a private repository is basically a repository that only you have access to, and it's only you that can see it. It's not known to the public. All right. So another thing is you can you can also add people that whoever that is interested to working with you regarding that private repository. You can give them access by adding them as collaborators. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it as public. All right. So the next thing is I will really want you to check this box called this checkbox. Just check it, in, and because it's all about initializing this repository to README. I'm going to explain what this is very soon. All right. So just go ahead and click on Create Repository. And once you click on Create Your Repository, you should have an interface that looks like this. All right. You know the other just before doing this, we had what we call initializing a read initialize this repository to a readme where we have to check in the box. All right, so I'm going to explain the reason why. Because we did that, we have this file called readme.md. Now, if we didn't do that, we would just have a blank, we won't have any file here in this repository. Do you get it? But now, what is the essence of this README? This README basically gives an overview of what your project is all about. All right, if I'm trying to visit your GitHub page or I see any of your repository anywhere because it's public, one of the first thing I would want to first of all see in understanding your repository is your README. And by default, when you initialize the repository to README, by default, what you have as the content is basically the repository name and the description. So you can just go ahead to editing and then adding some more flesh to it. So your README basically gives a detailed description of what your project is all about. So let me just go ahead and add some stuff to it and say this is more than English English language. All right. Do you get it? So you can just go ahead and then add some commit message like, okay, let me just say my commit message is update. All right. So, and then you just click on commit changes. But before I click on commit changes, I want you to understand that yes, this by default, you're always committed to master branch. Based on the fact that you are just creating a repository, fine. You are definitely just working with your master branch. But if you create more branches, you can just check this guy and then create new branches and then make your changes to those new branches. But because we are just creating a repository, so we are going to be using the master branch, so commit changes. All right, so once you commit your changes, you should see all of this. So you can see that what I just added is reflecting here. So now, let's get to the actual task. So the actual task right now is we actually want to be able to push or add more work to this repository from our local PC, and we want to use Git patch to do that. All right. So, but before we can actually do that, we have to have this README file that we have here. Since we are adding we are adding new files to this repository. There's something about Git. If you are trying to push from your local disk or from your PC to GitHub, then the things you have on your GitHub must be found in that repository in that folder where you are trying to push from on your PC. If they are not found, your GitHub would not allow you to push to that repository. It's going to assume that you are not the true owner to that repository. All right, so the first thing to be able we need to do in order to prevent that is to check this green button. Just click on this green button. All right, so what we need is either you clone or you download. So we are going to be cloning and we are going to be doing that with Git bash. So once you click on this guy, so the next thing you need to do is to go ahead I want you to go ahead to your folder, go to desktop, create a new folder on your desktop, give it a name. You can call it language, but on my own hand here, I've called my own language. All right, so the file I want to add to the repository is what I call language modeling. So that's the file I want to push to the repository. So you can just put your own files here also. So the next thing you need to do now is to now, since you've installed git bash, what you need to do right now is just um, right click your mouse. Once you right click your mouse, you're going to see something called view, sort by, group by, refresh, customize this folder, paste shortcut, or do delete, git UI, git bash here. Now just go ahead and click git bash here. So since you have git bash already installed, since you have git bash successfully installed, you shouldn't have any problem. So you should have an interface that looks like this. This is to show that yes, you are in the right folder. Now, if you look at it, you discover that you can see desktop and then the name of the folder on that desktop. So because I named my own language, that is the reason why I can see language here. Do you get it? Now, the next thing we want to do is to now clone the repository. So what you just need to do is just to go ahead and type git clone, then the link to that repository on GitHub. So my own link to to my repository is https www.github.com/ashatofumi/language.git. All right, so I'm just going to go click enter. So yours should follow this pattern: git clone https blah blah blah, then your username slash the name of your repository dot git, then go ahead, press enter. You should have an internet connectivity to be able to do this thing. All right, so once you click enter and your internet is okay, you should have this successfully done. So if you go into the folder, you're going to see that yes, a new folder has been added. Look at it here. That's what we call language. So if you go into it, you'll see that you have your readme.md file. All right, so now the next thing is, okay, let us go ahead and push. All right, so the file I want to push right now is language modeling. So I'm just going to take it, I'm going to paste it in that new folder, in the folder I just cloned from GitHub. So I'm going to be having language modeling and then my readme.md file in the same place. All right, so now I can go back to my git bash and then now start doing the magic from there. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to now enter into that folder. Since we are in the folder called language on our desktop, we need to go into the folder we cloned from GitHub. So in order to go into the folder you cloned from GitHub, my own folder that I cloned from GitHub, the name is language, so it will be git. I'm gonna do cd, or if you don't know, just type ls. So you're going to see my own here is language. Your own could be whatever based on the name you called that, based on the name your repository is online. All right, so I'll be doing CD language. So you're going to see something unique. All right, so what's unique? You're going to see what we call master. Look at it, master. So we are now in a folder on our desktop. We are in a folder called language, and inside language we have a folder called language, which is what we cloned um from GitHub. All right. So the reason why we have this master here is to show that yes, this thing is what Git actually recognize, and we are actually in the master branch. So by default, once you can actually switch from master to all other branches, but because this is our first repository and we've not created a new branch, so we are going to be dealing with our master branch. So the next thing you want to do now is to now do what we call git init. That's the first thing you should do. So after doing git init, you can go ahead and do git status. Or no, before you do git status, you do git add. You add all the files. So you have to do git space add space full stop and press enter. So that would add every files that you just added to that, all the files I just pasted in that folder from Git that I cloned from Git. Alright, so the next thing I'll do is to check out how far I've gone. I'll just do git status and it's telling me that yes, I I I am on my I am on branch master, and your branch is up to date with origin master, and these are the new files I want to push to Git. So it's telling me I'm having a new file called is it the new file is inside a folder called language modeling, and then I have this the new file. Another one is called language model 2 dot. So you can have as much as you, depends on how much files you want to push to GitHub. All right. So the next thing you want to do is now to do git commit. Commit. So you can do this is, or you just type this is my commit message. I'm going to tell you what this means later on. All right. So once you click on this and you have this, it means that yes, you've successfully committed your work to GitHub. You've successfully committed. So now let us now push. Let us now push to GitHub. So to push to GitHub, you just do git push u dash u origin master. All right. So once you click on git, once you do git push u origin master, it's going to ask, it's going to pop up. There's going to be a pop up. It's going to be asking for your username, and it's going to be asking for the password. All right. So what you now need to do is to enter your username or enter your password. You get it? So enter your username and enter your password. So once you enter your username and your password and they are both valid, then you should be having you should have this. Yeah, you should have this. All right. So I want to say, yeah, once you have been able to do this, you can now go back to um you can now go back to GitHub online and then refresh this page. And once you refresh, you are going to see that yes, you now have the new folder added. So if I go into the new folder, I'm going to see the new files I just pushed to GitHub. So I can see the new files I just pushed to GitHub. All right. So I want to say yes, this is this. If you've been able to reach this stage, then yes, you've successfully pushed your first work to GitHub. So I want to say congratulations. So if you if you actually like this tutorial, I would love you share it with other people that are also willing to learn how to use GitHub with Git Bash on Windows. So thank you for watching and stay blessed. Thank you.